Hey everyone, good to see you. Glad you could join me. Take off your shoes before you come in. I made it weird. By now you've seen the title and thumbnail of this video, and if you know who Tim Pool is or are even a fan, you might expect this video to be an attack on him, but I can assure you that that is not what we're going to be doing. We might do that a little bit, but that's not the main purpose of the video, I promise. The main reason that I'm talking to you today is I want to discuss how Tim sets himself up for an easy attack, but also how that attack is just an unproductive course of action. Today we are talking about hair, but I promise I'll make it more interesting than it sounds. For those of you who are uninitiated, we'll first have to start the video with a brief little introduction as to who Tim Pool is, and it might get a little negative, so I'm just going to start the video with a compliment just to offset the whole thing. Tim Pool's pretty good at skateboarding. You know, he's obviously put in a lot of work there. I wish that was all he was known for. Like, in a better world, he had a career where he did this and, like, talked to more people and met women and was overall a very decent person. But we do not live in that timeline, so let's get into the real Tim. Tim Pool is just another face in the typical, annoying, complaining social conservative podcast group who regurgitates rhetoric against trans people, gay people, women, anyone who's not a white man. Way to pick your targets, Tim. You're very brave. Again, I don't want this whole video to just be making fun of Tim. Like, that's not why I'm here. But just for reference, I do not agree with pretty much anything he barfs into that mic. So just for this video, you have to understand, if you're new here, I'm not a Tim Pool kind of guy. Personally, I think it's a waste of time to hate people with different lifestyles than mine, and it's easy to just support people who are living safe and affirming lives, and being homophobic, transphobic, etc. is just kind of a waste of the one life you have. I don't know, I guess that just makes me quirky. Quirked up white boy, accepting of others. Oh, shut up, Duncan. Part of Tim Pool's entire business structure is that he's very provocative online, but while doing that, he's also very uninformed and makes just a lot of very dumb statements. So he's more often than not made fun of online, and a lot of left-leaning Democrats and liberals and the left, essentially, makes fun of him online a lot. The people who are trying to be effective in this will usually deconstruct his points and kind of point out how backwards it is to think that, but it's not always that constructive. I think a lot of people want to fight fire with fire, and since Tim Pool is an annoying guy who attacks people, people want to attack him back and end up kind of being annoying. And some of you might be saying, Duncan, I thought you said this video was about hair. Like, how does hair play into this? And I'll tell you, but you eagle-eyed viewers might have already suspected where. Tim is seen nearly exclusively wearing a black beanie that apparently is never washed. He's been on record saying that it's his signature look, and he uses it to hide his identity when he's in public. However, one day his beanie was unexpectedly removed, exposing him for having a drastically receding hairline and a near-bald head. Understandably, Tim reacted pretty poorly to this and had kind of a tantrum/online meltdown for a few days.
I don't know why I fucking wore the hat. So these motherfuckers can't fucking recognize me when I'm on the street.
Which, again, I get, like, he didn't want his beanie removed, and it kind of exposed an insecurity of his. And in doing so, it gave anyone who disagreed with him the ultimate firepower. If Tim had reacted nonchalantly, it might not have been as big as it was, but because he reacted like it was a gunshot wound, it kind of exposed his main weakness, or his kryptonite, which was he's a little bit ashamed of having a balding head. And people ran with that. Now it's common knowledge that if you want to get under Tim's skin, you need to respond to his tweets with a bald comment, or you need to make fun of him for being bald. And that's essentially the main ammunition to use against him. The thing is that if Tim is tweeting something about taking away the health care of a minority group and making things harder for people, responding to that about him being bald is kind of out of left field. In fact, making fun of someone's appearance and trying to weaponize that against him is something that he would do. Like, that is a Tim Pool style of attack that he would make on someone. And the fact that people are using it to fight fire with fire against him makes sense, but I don't know, kind of feels fucky. If anything, we're kind of affirming to Tim and his base that someone's looks or how they present themselves is something to be weaponized against them. And that does not really seem like a quick way to acceptance, peace, love, all the hippie stuff that I believe in. The relationship that men and masculinity has with balding is very touchy. The stereotypes with balding is that it is seen as a sign of weakness and infertility for some reason. I don't know how hair relates to that, but, society does what it wants, I guess. There are a number of natural reasons hair loss happens, but because it's been used as an ad trick since the black and white commercial era, it makes men consume beauty products based on their insecurities. Thanks, old people. Thanks, capitalism. Thanks, Obama. In truth, there are just a lot of reasons that men can bald early, and there's not a main cause that you can address. For a lot of people, balding is just in the cards for them, and there doesn't have to be any health problems involved in order for that to happen. And it's worth pointing out that because American society is so hypocritical, bald men can be seen as masculine, but often when a different aspect of masculinity is on display. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is bald, but because he's 90% muscle, nobody points that out as a sign of weakness. Jeff Bezos is richer than God, and the people who worship financial stability as a cult just see him as a leader, not someone who's bald. Even when public figures of all genders go through a hairstyle that involves shaving their head, they're never seen as someone who is weak or insecure. It's just seen as a hairstyle. Unfortunately, this did not die with the people who created those ad campaigns, and the stigma around men and hair loss is still very present today. Hair products and people who preach masculinity still talk about hair loss as if it is sign you're a beta or something, even though it is a beauty standard that men created to trick other men. This is a men problem. And usually those who are proud about their hair success stories are the ones who had the financial means to take care of it. Not to mention that extensive hair care to the point of full restoration is locked behind a significant paywall. So Tim's insecurity about his hair loss is kind of understandable because it is a symptom of a larger societal problem based around beauty standards for men, set by men. The issue is that if you're going to make fun of him for being bald, you kind of have to understand that a lot of men who might feel insecure as well are going to get caught in that crossfire. I know personally that I don't have the best hairline due to an unholy cocktail of celiac disease, genetics, and stress constantly for like 23 years now. So I don't have the best hair, but I'm not balding. It's more so just the hairline goes pretty far up. And when I was starting making videos, I felt very seen and perceived. And usually I didn't want to put effort into my hair care, so I'd just throw a beanie on. In fact, if you subscribe to this channel anywhere from 2020 all the way to the end of 2021, I was most likely wearing a beanie in that video. I mainly did that for efficiency. I didn't have to worry about how I looked because I just threw a beanie on. But eventually, I actually started noticing when I took the beanie off, there'd be a lot of hairs in there. And I would think, oh, that's weird. But after a year of it, I was like, okay, I should actually probably look into that. After doing basic research, I learned something that may not surprise you, and that is that excessively wearing tight hats aids traction alopecia, which miniaturizes your hair follicles and actually assists the balding process. So now I just don't wear beanies as much, and I just kind of embrace the messy hair I have. And though I miss the bald jokes and the bald fan art, those aforementioned genetics are probably going to result in me being bald a little bit earlier than others, so I might as well enjoy the hair while I have it, So actually, Tim's overusage of his beanie might be affecting his chances at hair restoration. I don't know the timeline if he went bald and then wore the beanie to hide it, but either way, he might want to actually pick a different hat or just not wear the beanie if he wants to preserve the chances of any hair growth that he might have in his future. Usually I'm against making fun of people in general, but in Tim Pool's case, if he's going to keep making fun of minority groups and people who didn't ask for it with his weird jokes and opinions and hurtful beliefs, I understand that people are going to want to make fun of him. And to some degree, Tim Pool or his fan base can't really get mad at it because if you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen. Or the more catchier version of that phrase, talk shit, get hit. It's kind of a tired saying online about how you want to treat people the way you want to be treated. And it's like, don't make fun of someone for X because then your friends who are also suffering with X will see it. In this case, if you make fun of Tim Pool for being balding, Tim Pool won't see that, but your friends struggling with hair insecurity will. And though it's kind of a corny, overplayed thing to say at this point, it's true. And it's never not going to be true. By showing us that he is insecure about it, Tim Pool gave all of us a very easy weapon to attack him with. And I really don't blame people for resorting to it, because his whole business, again, is provoking people and wanting to get them angry. So if they attack him out of anger, to some degree, I get it. But I believe it's always more effective to actually combat his talking points and the rhetoric he's spewing instead of something that he might be personally struggling with, you know? So basically, even if you have the opportunity, don't attack Tim Pool's looks. He may have given you a weapon and might be giving you a free shot, but don't resort to his methods, because you can choose whether or not you take that shot or not. Again, maybe this is just a me thing and how I don't like bullying bullies, but again, that's just something I struggle with. I mean, believe in. Oh, if any of you are fan artists and want a prompt, please keep drawing me bald. It is so funny. I share it with all of my friends. Keep doing that. I love it. Well, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you for watching the whole thing. I really appreciate your support. I picked a bad time to talk about hair because it's summer now, and so this is all dry. I hope you didn't look at my head during this entire video. God. Special shout out to all the beautiful people who support me on Patreon. Your support goes the extra mile, and it means a lot to me. I really don't know how to say it enough, but I love you guys, and thank you for financially supporting that little extra bit to my channel. If you would like to join this group of very popular fun people and have your name tattooed on my video forever, the link to my Patreon will be in my description, as well as my Twitter and Instagram if you'd like to follow me and see more of me. Right now I think Instagram is winning against the two, but that could change. It's in your hands. I hope that you're doing things that make you happy, and every day something good happens to you because you deserve it. All right, take care of yourselves, take care of others, and I will see you next week for another video. I love you lots. Goodbye.